how we can use Bollinger Bands and price action to get a pin entry. Okay, so this was a trade that was shared with the community, and I want us to see how can we use Bollinger Bands and price action at the same time. Okay, now what you're going to do, I want us to have this setup. Okay, something of this sort. Okay, an uptrend before we make. Okay, then okay, so this is what I want us to talk about. How do we get such type of entry, and how can we use Bollinger Bands to confirm our entry is valid? And remember, these are pin entry, okay, a sniper entry setup. So normally what happens in the market is that we are going to have an uptrend now before the market decides we're gonna sell. So what happens at this point? Once we have created that high, now we start making a series of lows. Okay, so normally what you're looking for, you're looking to see something like this, almost equal lows being formed here and such kind of setup. Okay, before we then take that out and then come for a retest at this zone. So what you're talking about, this should be your entry. Okay, this should be your entry. Are we together? Now let's come to V51s and see how we got that trade. Okay, now I'm looking at the H1. Okay, so this was a pin entry, a very good trade. Okay, now look at what happened up here. We created this high, okay, and then we changed our direction. So now what was happening at this point? Look at this point. Okay, we had this and then we had this. Okay, so for easy identification, just tap on your line chart and see what is happening. This is the setup I'm talking about. So once you see something of this sort, then you know you might be having a very good setup loaded. Now what happens after that? After you have spotted that, you're going to turn on your legs, go back to candles, and then turn on our Bollinger Bands. Are we together? So we need a confirmation as to why we are going to take the trade from this zone, this retest. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Remember to have the correct settings of the Bollinger Bands so that it becomes very easy. Now look at this. This is a steady flow of volume, and then what do we have? A candle closes below that and then the market moves. Now you may have missed the trade at this point, but you want to catch this pin entry. What do you do? Once you've turned on the Bollinger Bands, this is what you're going to check, and this becomes your confirmation. I want you guys to notice what happens. Okay, look at the candles here. This is a big body candle, and look at what happens. Once you close inside the band, this should tell you that the retest you're going to make will be at this zone, and this is the confirmation that you need. Okay, so if candles are appearing in a certain format, maybe something of this sort, you cannot take the trade. But once you see big body candles forming out along the outer band or the lower band, then you know we are going to close inside the band and make a retest all the way to this point. Okay, so in your mind you already have this setup and you're waiting for confirmation. Okay, and this is how you know that the market must retest once you see big body candle forming on the lower band. And as you can see, we closed inside the band, and what happens? We pushed all the way to the retest and the market drops. Okay, look at what happens here. We form this setup, and what happens at this point? We make a retracement, touch our entry, and the market keeps falling. And that's how we were able to catch that trade. Look at that. What happens? Okay, and the market is still dropping. Are we together? So what you need to know is this setup is going to happen, and then turn on your Bollinger Bands. And remember, you need to have the correct settings for the Bollinger Bands, otherwise you're going to lose. Okay, this is something called the big body candle. Okay, and look at what happens, guys. Even if you don't know how to trade, this is just easy to spot. So in our case here, you would be having two entries. Okay, look at what happens. Wait for the candle to close inside the band, and then what happens? We push all the way to this point. So you could take your buy trade at this point, expect a reversal all the way to this point, have your take profit at this point, and then at the same time put your sell limit to this point and target the previous low. Okay, the main structure. Okay, this point should be your first take profit. Look at that. Okay, and as you can see, this is a very strong level. After breaking out, we are now retesting at this zone. Okay, so make sure you just understand that, have the correct settings of the Bollinger Bands, and everything else becomes easy. Okay, so use the Bollinger Bands for confirmation and have this price action strategy that is easy to follow. Okay, so just remember, you need to look at this. Okay, turn on the Bollinger Bands, have the correct settings, and then wait for a big body candle. Just look at simple. Look at that, just closing inside the band, and what do we see? Look at that, we close inside the band, which means now we're expecting a reversal. And what does the market do? The market reverses all the way to this point and then sells again. Okay, in the next episode, I'm going to talk about the rules of the Bollinger Bands, how you can use them and how it becomes a simple strategy. Okay, so stay tuned.